for real. I was looking on there trying to figure out something. My bad. Hey, y'all. It is not quite 7. But it is hump day. So happy hump day to everybody who will see this video. Happy hump day. Y'all, I couldn't find my brush, so my slick down is not quite so slick. But hey, it's still there. What is that? I hope everybody's having a good week. Like I said, I don't be knowing what to say sometimes when I just be sitting there talking to myself. Because I don't be wanting to repeat, but I still end up repeating stuff. Because it's just the nature of the game. You end up repeating stuff. Repeat for the people coming in and everything. So it is Wednesday already. These days are flying by. It's going to be Thanksgiving before you know it. And then it's going to be Christmas. And then we're going to start this all over again. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is still October, which means it is still scary time. I haven't watched anything scary today. I got to figure out something. Scary stuff is kind of dark, and I normally have y'all. TV is normally my light, so that's why I'm not really, but it is what it is. I'm trying to look in this camera, and hopefully one day these dark circles won't be here. They're not bags, they're just dark circles. That's crazy. I have to Google, how do you get rid of that? I'm going to Google it while we're sitting here together talking. How to get rid of dark circles under your eyes. Hold on. Anybody else? If anybody else has something that works for them, let me know. Let's see. No. Let's see what it says. Welcome to everybody who is listening but hasn't said, hey, Leilani. How to get rid of dark circles under the eye. Let's see. So, we're going to be together on this. Dark circles under the eyes can be caused by various factors, including genetics, aging, lack of sleep, and underlying medical conditions. Do I get enough sleep? Absolutely not.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Okay. First of all, how you gonna come in out the back?
Oh, my bad.
Talking about yes, I do. Enough sleep technically is 7 to 9 hours a night. I go to sleep at 5 o'clock. I mean, not 5. I go to sleep at 2, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, and I get up at 7:30. 7:38. Every now and again, I'll sleep past that. But as soon as Penelope's down here, it's on and popping. So, I don't smoke. Go outside. I'm not necessarily stressed out. I don't know. Laser therapy.
So guess who we saw at the club, please?
Oh, no, you come on. This is regular. This is live.
Long.
What was I about to say? Leilani, what do you use to get rid of dark circles other than sleep? Because sleep doesn't work. Because baby said I get enough sleep. Oh, she said. She said I sleep enough. I don't know what that means. She sleep as much as I do. She sleep more than I do, matter of fact. What you said? Yeah, she over there talking behind the scenes where y'all can't hear her. I saw the circles. I said that's why I asked. Maybe you know something.
Penelope, go see your cookies.
And she over there think because Charles in here and she talking that she talked to him and then but I hear her talking. So, Leilani, remember what we talked about the other day about the pastor, right? About the pastor. The wine and pastor. Hey, y'all, whoever's out there. So, I rewatched it. Well, I didn't rewatch it. I was flipping. And somebody else posted another clip. Because, we don't see the whole clip. Ain't nobody going to post the whole thing. They're going to piecemeal it and throw it out there. So, what had happened is the instructions. Now, she came on and said that, what'd she say? She came on and said that he didn't disrespect her, that he didn't do anything wrong, that she was in the wrong line. First of all, they were different lines. That's what she said. And he said something. I assume it was supposed to be an apology, but this is bullshit, so I don't care. But anyway, so somebody did a clip of before when he was, it's already right there, when he was talking, right? The clip said that the parishioners are supposed to bring their 1,000, and then they're supposed to go ask another person for $1,000 from them. 1 + 1. And then you get doubly blessed. The hell? What? What? First of all, somebody said, unless you want 2,000 pennies, it's all you get up out of me. Somebody said that. And I was like, I don't want to give you that much. Because you sit up here. Now, that's just like Charles and Brittany go to church. They pastor asked them for $1,000, but you got to go ask somebody else for $1,000 and come bring it to us, even if they don't go to the church, so you can get blessed twice. What is the scale for the blessing? What Charles is right here. So I got a little dog. He was standing in front of the light. So he can go as he walk. He ain't got to stand there. So the church tell you got to bring $2,000. Your 1,000, and you got to go ask for another 1,000 to be blessed. Don't look at me like I done said something crazy. Somebody said that for real outside. Online.
They tripping. Like big shoes. I'm gonna get my 1,000. If the Lord bless me, bless me. If not, yes, I'm meant for me to be blessed at that time.
First of all, you got cheering.
I do got children, but I'm just saying.
Or child, my bad.
I'm just saying, if I'm giving 1,000, I'm fine with. I would love to. I'm gonna give you something, but I'm not giving anything. I'm not asking anybody else for extra.
And then the person that she asked couldn't give 1,000. They could only give 236. And he said, now don't ask me for that amount. I don't know. That was all they could spell. But he said that ain't what he asked for. In front of the congregation, publicly. Where people had their phones out, much like mine. So you know they've been posting it. Look here, hold on. Right. It was her and her son. She asked her son, this was a child. She asked her son, and all he had was $236. And he gave the $236. But that wasn't enough.
Yeah, at that moment, that's when I would have walked out. I would say, yeah.
I'm not gonna stay on this too long because that threw me off. Because I thought that, it's bad enough. It's bad enough that you got your parishioners thinking that they don't get blessed unless they pay for it, I guess. That's bad enough. Now you showing this child that he's not enough publicly. Hey, Brown Sugar. Hey, y'all. Yeah. That little boy probably said, I know, right? He saved up his birthday money. Any money somebody that gave him, saving it up for something. So first of all, here I'm gonna say this. And I'm gonna say it, and it's not gonna sound nice. Why the hell are you asking your child for money for church? I'm gonna start with the mom or the grandmama, because she looked older. When she was sitting there talking, when she was saying that he didn't need to apologize and he didn't do nothing wrong, I was scrolling, and that's the only reason I'm talking about this now, because we talked about it the other day, but I'm just the only reason I'm talking about this now. Because I got another thing to talk about. Why you ask your child for money? When my mama used to tithe and everything, she tithed for the house. She offered for the house because I'm a child. And if he's your child, why you took all the money he saved? Why you didn't give the 2,000 for him? 1,000 for you, 1,000 for him. The actual church building, the actual pastor, the actual books are not as important as the word and the spirit. You giving yourself over to man. And I think that was the first commandment. You should have no other God before me. Realistically, you've allowed pastors and religious leaders to become God on earth, and you treat them as such. There ain't no way in four hells. Yep, handed me $1, sure did. Handed me something to give. If I didn't have money, she handed something to give. But back to what I was saying. I believe the first commandment is that you have no other God before me. And y'all are allowing these earthly men and women, it's not just men, to treat you like they're the saviors, like they're the givers of the blessings, like they're the giver of the spirit, like they're the giver of the Lord. When my mom and I went to church, our max was $2 per person. My mom was a single parent. Absolutely. First of all, I want y'all to tell me where in the Bible it says supposed to tithe like that. Like churches be telling you tithe. That's number one. Number two, I want you to tell me where in the Bible they have all them church pew funds, all them extra funds that on top of tithing and offering. Hear me when I say it's on top of tithing and offering. So I want you to tell me, because everybody talk about God and specificity in the Bible and the word of the Lord. First of all, y'all don't know what the word of the Lord is. Y'all know somebody said the word of the Lord was. And like I say again, allowing earthly people to be your only conduit to your spirituality and your Lord and your God and whoever you do, that's your problem. I have first issue with the mama. I have issue with the mama. You bring your baby up front of this church in a mega church and a superstar church because he's a whining, which means he's gonna have, on top of just being a mega church, he's gonna have the added pressure of coming from also a celebrity family. Because that's what they are. I don't care if they're celebrities because they use the Lord's name in vain on a regular basis. Still celebrities. At the end of the day, my initial and most problem is with the mama. Now that I think about it, I had to have a little while to marinate, because let me tell y'all something. Scammers gonna scam. Scammers are going to scam. I was watching a clip of a man who had, I guess they were supposed to be diamond, so we're gonna go on the fact that I guess they was diamond. I don't know. They could have got them from Temu. I don't know. But necklaces down to his chest hair. He ain't had no chest hair. He had a shirt on. But you know what I'm talking about. He was Mr. T. And he had a Bentley on stage inside of the church. Right? And he said, this Bentley's not for me. It's for us. It's for the church. And then somebody hollered out, because it's going to be at least one youngin' out in the outside going to go, well, can we drive it? Oh, no. No, the Lord wouldn't want that. Like I said, scammers going to scam. And the easiest and the quickest way to scam a whole bunch of people out of everything they got is to all of a sudden be a preacher. It's all of a sudden throw your shingle up on the front of somebody's house or the front of somebody's storefront, or shoot, outside under a tent. Throw a revival. And all of a sudden, your money problems are gone. But the problem for your people are just beginning, because these people depend on you. Well, they should. They're that's what the church is there for, I guess. But let me get off him, the whining and because here's the thing. Regardless of what I feel about the mama, if he wasn't there, she couldn't do it. If people like that, if predatory pastors were not there, I said what I said. Predatory pastors, preachers, and ministers were not available, then the word of God would be so much different. religion would be so much different if there wasn't prophet and preaching. If holiness wasn't for sale. All that. Hey, Magdalene. All that. On to this. So, I have a story. And I want to know what y'all think about it. I will say what I think, but I'm going to tell you but I want to know what y'all think about it. So, a single father has a daughter. And this was a couple years ago, but I guess it just got popular or whatever, or he just posted it. I don't know. So, a single father had a daughter, and he wanted to for her birthday through a slumber party. And he went to some of the other mothers. He's a single full-time dad. And he went to one of the other mothers in the school or what play date or whatever. And he broached the subject of how would you feel about me throwing my daughter a slumber party. And your daughter, he said before he could finish his statement, the mama said, I would not feel comfortable at all. My child would not come. So it should have ended there. Because the reality is that very few people nowadays want to send their children to slumber parties with both parents, with two parents. You hard pressed to get anybody just jumping up and down to send their child to a slumber party. It ain't like before. That being said, he goes on to make a video saying that how much it hurt his feelings and how he didn't understand why people thought that way. And he'd been molested by a woman when he was younger. So he would never do that. Now, here's the jam about that. When people get to talking about what happened to them when they was younger, the reality is that the fact that that's the first thing you thought of when she said, no, I would not be comfortable. There are a myriad of reasons why a mom or a parent would not be comfortable with their daughter spending the night at the house where a grown man is. That's probably the lead one, but it's a lot. It's a lot of things. And it's a girl. The reality is that I would love for it to be that there was not a double standard and we did not feel the same way, but I would feel differently about Brittany at 14 or 15 because before that ain't no spending the night. Spending the night over at somebody's house that there was a single dad as opposed to Nick. Because number one, you're not spending the night over somebody's house and you can't truly articulate what could happen to you. That's number one. That's number one. That's uno. So that leaves out anybody under, to me, age of 10. Because there comes a certain point of, no. There's no co-ed sleepovers. Not because I think that kids are just inherently sexy time. It's just that they're different. The reality is that until you become comfortable with yourself, until you become 100% comfortable with yourself, and that doesn't come till adulthood realistically. And in some adults it don't never come. But that being said, there are a myriad of reasons. You being a Chester is just one of them. But the reality is that if you wouldn't have pause about your daughter, hey Shadrika, if you wouldn't have pause about your daughter going over to a sleepover to stay at the house where there's only a single father living there, then you have a problem as well. Because it's not about whether or not they will do it. It's about not having your child in the environment where it could happen. And here's another thing. Here's my first thing. Here's my other thing. Here's my other thing. If this was really about your daughter, and this is really about what she really wanted was a slumber party for her birthday. If this is really about her, you would have found a way to make the other parents comfortable with the situation. You say, hey, my daughter wants to have a slumber party for her birthday. I'm a single dad, and you know all those little girls around. Could it be possible that you, I get you to host it at your home. I pay for everything. I just need you to be there. I'd be more comfortable, and the other parents would be more comfortable in this situation. That's number one. Number two, you got a sister, a mama, a cousin, somebody. Hey, mom, uh, Penelope want to sleep over. I don't want to do it in my house because I'm a single dad, and I ain't that kind of dad. But hey, I want the kids to be as comfortable as possible. You mind if we have it at your house? Hey, sister, cousin, somebody. Hey, I'm gonna get 2 hotel rooms that are adjacent. Y'all gonna stay in this room. The girl's gonna stay in this room. This is what she want for her birthday. There's more than one way to skin this cat. And you coming online and pity moaning partying is not one of them. You coming online thinking that we're going to feel sorry for you because you couldn't figure out, or I guess not necessarily figure out, because you didn't want to figure out another way to go. You thought the internet, thank you, thanks. You thought the internet, yeah, it is. So you thought the internet was a place to go and that we was just going to rub your back and tell you it's going to be okay. It's not going to be okay, sir. The days of, well, they should be. The days of us just freeballing our children out in the world, thinking that the world is still a village, are gone. They gone. The world has not been a village in a very long time. Us assuming that other people are going to treat our children the way we treat our children is gone. And those that still do it are the reason that we have shows like Steve and Karamo and SVU. I don't blindly think nobody won't do nothing. Nick could not spend it. When did Nick, how was Nick before he started spending the night over? And it was only 2 houses. I forget one boy name. And his best friend. That was it. Baby.
Huh?
How was Nick when he started spending the night out?
Baby. What'd you say? I got headphones on.
Okay.
What'd you say?
I just asked how was Nick when he started being able to spend the night out at somebody's house.
Shoot, it was about 15?
Yeah. Yeah, about that age. About, I think 14. I think he was 14 the first
I
time.
can't remember.
I think 14 is. I think that's how old he was.
14, 15?
Because I think the first time he went over.
He don't want to go nowhere. No, he don't want to do nothing.
He went. But
Yeah, well, he didn't really want to go nowhere.
nah, he didn't. But I still say there were so many ways to skin that cat, and you didn't try any of them other than to come online and what's the word? And want us to feel sorry for you. If it was really about your baby and not about a gotcha internet moment, then you would have figured out a way to have a slumber party for your daughter. It just is what it is. That's all I got to say about that. No, very few. I'm not going to say nobody because I'm sure there are parents out there that's still bald-headed and blind and one eye and can't see another one. It's still out there that think that the world is... No, it's not. It's not. Err on the side of caution and you won't have to put your child through therapy. Err on the side of caution and you won't have to explain adulthood to your infant. I'm not your infant, to your child. Err on the side of caution, period. With your kids, period. Err on the side of your children. Always. That's always the right answer. In any situation, not just this situation, but any situation. Err on the side of your children when it comes to your children. If you're dating somebody that you're dating for you, but you're not 100% certain about how they feel about your kid, err on the side of your kid. If your kid act one way at the house, but then every time you go to school, they got something to say, and that don't sound like the kid that's at your house. Now, there's some things that your kid is not going to do in front of you that they're going to do in front of other people, but just a completely different child, err on the side of your kid. Because it's grown folks that don't like kids out there that get teacher certificates. I'm just going to say that. If your child don't want to hug an auntie they don't see, but every 3 years, a sister who don't like them or don't act like they like them, kids that bully them just because they family, err on the side of your child. If you always err on the side of your kid, then the only person you can blame in the situation is you. Then you ain't got to go far to find that person. Be careful who you have kids with. Be careful who you have kids with. I sit up here and I scroll TikTok every day so I can find stuff to talk about with y'all. That's really what I be doing. And I just fall down TikTok rabbit holes, and that's just what happens. And every now and again, I'll stop. You know, on TikTok, if you stop on something long enough and just, even if it's a few seconds, they'll start sending you stuff like that. So I must have stopped on something about women with very bad baby daddies. I must have stopped on that for too long. So this girl is pregnant. I want to say in her third trimester of pregnancy. And the little boy, because he looked like a little boy, the little boy sitting on the couch talking about, why you getting so fat? Why is the baby only weigh 1 pound? You gained 15. She said, I haven't gained 15 pounds. I've gained maybe 10 pounds. Why you so big and the baby ain't but a pound? How y'all, I really want a straight woman to tell me why y'all still having sex with me. I would love to know. Because I know that the internet is a microcosm of humanity. I know that it's not the. I know that these are just people who want attention. I get that. However, I have heard bad story after bad story after bad decision about a woman with a man. And I'm going to get to that. Why y'all still making babies with men? I'm not saying you don't need the sperm. That's not what I'm saying. We ain't figured that out yet. But why are y'all still having these men in your house? Ask you why you fat. Telling you just pregnant, ain't nothing wrong with you. Get up and lift that, move this, go there. Yeah, I've heard them too. It's her, baby, it's her job. Now, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I just work. Your wife ain't took a shower since she came home. She got a baby stuck to a titty and a vacuum in her hand. She don't even know what day it is. Why y'all still having sex with men? Getting in relationships with them. I'm not saying be gay. That's not what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Sounds like that's what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. Because the reality is there can be bad situations in every demographic of there can be what's the word? Gay, straight. Sorry. No, that don't have nothing to do with sexuality. But I'm asking because don't none of y'all seem happy. Y'all come on here and y'all make these gotcha moments in these videos about your husbands and especially during pregnancy. I ain't talking about just regular relationships, because relationships are up and down. And in these videos to where we only see a snippet of somebody's relationship, I'm making jokes and stuff because I know why you fall in love and all that. I'm making jokes. However, I'm talking about pregnant women specifically. And women who choose to get pregnant. I'm not talking about a wife and just being a wife and da. I'm talking about somebody who purposefully got pregnant by somebody who doesn't like them. Because there's a difference between loving somebody and liking them. And I have seen very little like in a lot of these videos with these men who about to be somebody's daddy. Just Google it. Just hit Google or go on TikTok and put in pregnant women talking to the father of their kids. Just put it in there. And I promise you, you're going to have way more women putting out videos about how somebody's saying something stupid about them being pregnant as opposed to somebody uplifting them while they're pregnant. Or making jokes. So I was watching. Oh, I was watching again on TikTok talking about babies and stuff. Y'all remember the Dare codes that was on TLC? They started out with 11. I think it was 11. I want to say 11. They have a couple of sets of twins and I think one set of triplets, but they started out with 11. Now, being a part of the gay community, I have a slight bit of gaydar. I have a little bit. I used to be real good when I was younger. I don't know why. But just because, I think because I was gay and just didn't know it, and I liked the little feminine man. Not soft, but kind of, kind of metrosexual. Somebody told me that's because I was gay. But that's neither here nor there. Um, so, I always wondered about him and her. Because, one, the physicality. She is interesting looking. And he is what people would call classically attractive. He would be considered attractive to a multitude of people. She is a niche attractiveness. So I'm going to just say it to me. Again, everything I say is me. Nobody else said it. To me, she's not considered across the board attractive. There would be somebody who loved her, somebody who liked her, liked the way she looked, but the general consensus would not be that she was attractive. And it's the opposite for him. His attitude would detract from his attractiveness, but he would be considered attractive to a multitude of people. So I wondered about that dynamic. But then I started listening to how he talked to her. The Derricos. Y'all know. 11 Derrick. I forget what the name. 11. It wasn't 11 and counting. It was something else. But living with the Derricos and children with the Derricos. Something with the Derricos. Something like that. But it was 11. 11 kids. By the time the show ended, it was 14. Them last few babies almost killed her. Right? But he kept her pregnant. He kept her going. He was like, we're going to have these babies. We're going to stay on this TV. That's what he said. He said like that. But he said, as long, the more kids we had, the longer we be on TV. Like, 18 and counting. The first one. The Mormons. They're not Mormons. I don't think they're Mormons. They might be. Mormons are very racist. I don't think they're Mormons because they black. But anyway, there could be some, very churchy people like to have a whole lot of babies because somewhere in the Bible it said be fruitful and multiply. I'm thinking they was talking about crops, but okay. I digress. So now all of a sudden he wants to get a divorce. And they're going to co-parent 14 children. Or 13 because the oldest is 18. And he's going to give her $1,100 a month in child support for 13 children. Now, I said, because I commented, because this is what I do. I said his boyfriend finally put his foot down. So he had to finally get a divorce after he done knocked her up that many times. That's what I said. Let me tell you something. Now I remember what I want to talk about. I'm getting into it now. There's no world and no amount of lying you can do that tells me that you're a good parent to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5, sometimes 4 children. Financially, emotionally, physically. The reality is, unless you stop having babies, you're pregnant for all your children. 13 kids for 11. Yep. They're going to be living on TLC because I think they still on TV. I want to say they still on TV. So they get whatever, I don't know whether, here's the thing. What gets me about TLC, I don't know whether or not TLC actually pays the children. 1,100, absolutely. I don't know whether they pay the children because I would want money for myself. If I'm a child and you using my face and my likeness, I want you to pay me too, not just the family. But I digress. I don't know whether TLC gets away with a lot of shit. I don't know why. Because I think that the we listen and we don't judge is a lie. And they make money off of us judging. So I'm going to have as many babies as I can physically have. That's what I've heard people say online. I haven't No, per Honey Boo Boo, the parents get everything and it's supposed to split it up. Absolutely not. Well, Honey Boo Boo Mama was stealing that money because it was supposed to. They're supposed to be. They have a child thing for child actors to where the money is supposed to be put in escrow or whatever it is. I don't know the technical term. And supposedly, it's supposed to be done, but nobody was checking Honey Boo Boo Mama and making sure that she was putting the money in where she's supposed to be. So her account was empty. Right. But they're supposed to put the money into the account. There's money for them and there's money for the kids. But Honey Boo Mama took all of it. Didn't put any in the account. The reality is Honey Boo Boo Mama should have got nothing because she wasn't doing nothing. The whole show was about this little girl. And I hated collars and tiaras. I hate children beauty pageants. Yep. She barely got that. Mom was trying to take that. Her mom was trying to take that. And what killed me, and I know this is off the topic, but if anybody's ever seen the new Honey Boo Boo and the husband, he in all the shows he got this thick diamond necklace on that costs thousands of dollars if it's real. If it's real, right? Excuse me. Even when he just sitting in the house doing nothing, he's sitting around with this thick ass diamond all the way around necklace, which he ain't got no job. He ain't about it. I promise you, on everything I love. But as soon as I got to be 18, I'd have been snatching off jewelry. I'd have been putting folks out my house. I'd have been suing my mama. But she didn't want to do that. I don't know why. Again, forget her. But anyway, she had too many children. Honey Boo Boo Mama had too many children because she didn't take care of none of them. All the children was grown. All her daughters. She had too many. I think she had, what, 2 or 3? I mean, 3 or 4? She had 3. She had Honey Boo Boo. It was 3 or 4 of them. She had too many. I say what I say. It is all well and good to want to repopulate the earth all by yourself. If you have the money to do it, and you don't care whether or not your kids think about you like you their parent, that is up to you. Have as many children as you can financially have. If you know you don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, have none. Until you can get the pot in the window. Just because your uterus works, just because some dude sitting up here telling you, I want you to have my baby when he won't even tell you his last name. Do you know how many women out here talking about my baby daddy named Red? Well, what's his real name? Red? Booby? Pookie? This man won't even tell you his last name, but you believe in him when he tell you that he gonna be there for you when you have a baby by him? So you'll give him some. Mm-hmm. I hear you talking. But that's what... No. The oldest kids take care of the youngest kids. And you know how many mamas I heard say that's why they keep having them, because the older kids take care of the young ones. There was a lady, and when I worked for the commissary, and she was a military wife, and she had, I want to say 6, and they were true stair steps, from the oldest, who was 14, to the one she was holding. And I was younger, so I'm liable to say anything. So I didn't say anything ugly. I just said, oh. I was like, do you need any help? Because I was in the line behind her and I didn't have any customers. And I turned and I saw her and she was trying to wrangle the kids and everything. Oh, no, the older ones will get them. That's what they do. That's their job. I said, well, how many kids you have? She said, I have 7. And the 2 youngest ones, one was still on the titty and one couldn't walk. I'm like, and in my head, I'm judging. Like I said, I'm young, no kids. This man, I ain't had kids. I'm judging. Why are you having all these kids you can't take care of? And I'm not talking about monetarily. Because kids are expensive. I'm talking about physically. You can't wrangle your kids in the store. Your kids don't listen to you. You got to hold one, and you got to have one in the push part, in the sitting part, because you done came in here with all. First of all, you came here with all these children. Second of all, you want your kids to not have a life because you keep having kids. That is literally what's going on. You want your older children not to have any semblance of childhood because you the one keep deciding to have kids. I say what I say. If you cannot take care of them, and I'm not just talking about financial, because that's a given. If you don't have the money to buy yourself food, hey Journey, hey y'all. If you don't have your money to buy yourself food, keep your lights on, keep your rent going, buy your clothes, keep gas in the car so you can get back and forth to work, you don't have money for a babysitter, hear me, this is what you need just in the beginning. You need somewhere for them to live, lights on, water. You don't necessarily need cable, but if you got a kid, hey, you need at least PBS. You need food. You need gas. You need a job. But your kid need to be somewhere. So you need child care. That's just in the beginning. If you cannot, my mom and sister was just talking about this subject. That's because it has gotten out of hand. It's some weird flex to see how many babies you can have that you can't take care of. That a woman was on online the other day talking about where the grandmama's spitting and slobbing because don't nobody want to take their weekend off from their job or their life to babysit for the children that you didn't. Hear me, you don't want them. You don't want them. You want the idea of kids, the thoughts of being a mama. You want what I guess you think something come with that. Don't nothing but a bad back, stretch marks, spasms all the time, and what is it? Urinary incontinence. It's all that come with having kids. Those are the perks. I watched a girl who didn't know that an epidural was just not a shot in the back, that it's an actual that you actually have a shunt in your back. Oh yeah, I forgot about losing your teeth. My bad. Girl, I don't know whether she was pregnant or not because the way she was doing, she just saw the top of her. She was like, they lied to her. Didn't nobody tell her that. That an epidural was an actual shunt that stays in your back however long. That it's a hole in your spine. I don't know who lied to these young girls and said that this shit is easy. It's not. You gain weight, you lose hair. All that shit you're glowing because you're sweating. You constipated or you got to fart all the time. And that's just the pregnancy. Then you got to squeeze it out. Or like me, you didn't have enough room to squeeze it out. You had to have major surgery where they had to rearrange all my organs just to get to this boy. Y'all think this is a game? And then there is a benefit. There is a gift. Your kid's a gift. But are you a gift to your kid? This is the questions that I ask. You think that your life ain't supposed to change after you have one? You think you can just go back to doing what you was doing before? And the kid is just like a pocketbook you carry around? You think that the things that you do in your life don't affect your child? That includes another child? Y'all see how Penelope is. You think her life won't change if another child came into the mix? And then another one? And then another one? You think our life won't change? You have to think about all that stuff when you're having these babies. It's not like when you go get a dog and you go crate train it and put a pad on the floor and buy a few cans of dog food a month. That's not what this is. And a lot of us are doing it alone. I mean alone, alone, on our own, alone. No family, nobody. He lying. If y'all ain't in a serious, committed, about to be married relationship, he telling you he wants you to have his baby because he love you and he gonna be there. He lying. He wants some ass. If you don't know his last name, he lying. If you ain't never been to his house, he lying. If his mama don't know who you are, he lying. He lying. Even pregnant people have oops babies. I mean, even married people, my bad. Even married people have oops babies. Because they know it's going to change their life. You had the decision to get married. I did this before we got married, when we first started dating, because we can't accidentally get pregnant. I asked her, did you want any more kids? I did that at first because I knew as we were older, it would change our lives significantly. Not talking just financially, but just our lives significantly. She said no. I said, cool, yay. Because these are the talks that you have to have. Kids are not, it's cute now, but they grow up to be little people. And then your heart is no longer on the inside of your body. It now resides on the outside. And you have to take that into consideration. And you have to take into consideration that one day your daughter may want to go to a sleepover at a house to where there's only a dad. And you have to go no. Not because you think he is some awful dude, but because you have to err on the side of your child always. But that don't happen. Excuse me, y'all. I don't know why I be yawning. I don't know why I be yawning. But yawning is just not because you're tired or sleepy. It's also for an activity. So maybe talking ain't an activity. Well, I can talk for a second. But yeah. I'm like, you want to divorce me now? Because it was him that wanted the divorce. Like I said. Allegedly, his boyfriend finally put his foot down and said, this can no longer go on. And she's sitting up there talking about she wants to stay pregnant. I miss the babies in the house. You're going to die. Hear me when I tell you. Ladies, pregnancy, birth, those are not things that are easy on the body. Those are not good for your health things. They're not.
Did you see anything?
They're not health programs. They're not exercise videos. Pregnancy and birth are traumatic instances in your body.
Okay. All right. I ain't gonna worry about it. Thank you for going.
I miss having a baby in the house. You got a bunch of babies. Soon your babies will have babies. You be all right. Just wait a minute. She said, I want to keep having babies in the house. Girl, if you don't get out of my face. And I wonder if women who have babies by their exes and babies by the sorry man they had their first baby by, it's because they don't want to say they got more than one baby daddy. Now, mamas didn't have no problem with that. Start a daycare. Absolutely. But I don't know if I would want. Here's the thing. I don't think she has a healthy mindset about children and child rearing and child care. I don't think she has a healthy mindset. To me. Because you wanting to have babies just because you want a baby in the house does not justify having babies. Because these are not stuffed animals that you can just put in a box and put up when you're tired of messing with them. When you're tired of changing them or feeding them, you don't have to change or feed them. These are not stuffed animals. These are little people who growing up. I don't necessarily know I'd want her to babysit for me. I don't want my daughter thinking that her whole life is having babies. All you need to do is have babies and everything will be okay. Battered women's shelters, homeless shelters, and runaway teenage shelters are full of people who thought like that. Are full of women who thought this baby would make him better, change, make him be a man. Do you know how many times I heard friends of mine sit up there talking about? Because I asked them, because if you my friend, if we friends for real, we friends for real, I'm going to say with friend shit. But why is you still having babies by this man? He don't like you. He don't know you. But you steady having babies. One girl told me, well, I figured that one of these babies would make him, be be faithful and be a man. No, that's not gonna happen. I don't know. It just it to listen to, and then the fact that you got so much going on that you know that if you have your phone on record that your man is going to say something reckless about your pregnancy or why you pregnant or something like that. It just there should be none. There should be no women having to justify why they need help while you're 6, 7, 8 months pregnant, while you're 1 month pregnant, to the person that knocked you up. There should be no need for justification for that. There should be no need for having to justify why you don't want kids. There was an entire discourse about single child-free women, and they were just talking about women. They never bring men into the subject of a clock ticking or or being childless. Men never play into this. It's always, I guess, because somewhere somebody said it was a woman's job to stay at home and take care of the babies, and that's why it's bad, because women are now getting a degree and being smart and not having babies. What's the draw? Other than being a mama, other than your baby loving you and loving your baby, other than that, what is the draw? And then there's no guarantee that just because you're a mama, you're going to love the baby. Postpartum depression is real and it's deadly. Postpartum psychosis is real and it's deadly. There's no 100% guarantee you're going to bond or want to be the mama to this baby you just carried. Why shoot craps with somebody's life? Why shoot craps with your own life? I did not have a particularly jarring pregnancy. I was just pregnant. I had all the symptoms and all the stuff that you could have, bad or good, and I had it. But it didn't physically beat me down. I got gestational hypertension. That's what I got. From the beginning of my pregnancy to the end of my pregnancy, even after Nick was 8 pounds, 8 ounces, I only gained 17 pounds altogether. I wasn't hungry during the pregnancy. I had an epidural, which turned out to be a saddle block. I didn't feel shit from my chest down. Couldn't even feel myself breathing. But I still get back spasms to this day that I wasn't getting before that. What's the draw of being constantly pregnant with little people you can barely take care of because you can barely take care of yourself? I want somebody to tell me. Because while I may not understand it, Why you won't sway me to your way of thinking. One, I'm almost 60. Two, no. But I may be able to understand. And I don't want to hear because my mama had 6, 7 children. Your mama had 6, 7 children because your mama also did not know how to read. Because people told her that she was not supposed to be smart. She was supposed to cook, clean, and have babies. As was your grandmama, as was your great grandma. And if you black, they weren't even taught to read. It was illegal for a long time. With your grandparents, great grandparents, great great grandparents, depending upon who you knew. So I don't want to hear is because of what the ancestors did. The ancestors was trying to make it better for you. So you aren't supposed to be doing what they did. You're supposed to be making what they did better. So tell me why you can't financially support another kid. Why you can't barely physically support another kid. You can barely emotionally support yourself. Why you keep having multiple babies so you can say that you're pregnant? Because you like the attention when you're pregnant? I was just pregnant. I wasn't. Didn't nobody show me no extra attention. Had them hoes didn't halfway act like I was pregnant half time. I didn't either. It was till I got too big to move around the way I wanted to move around, move the way I want to move. Excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. Did y'all see what I'm saying? Somebody can tell me because I don't understand. I'm verklempt. I'm flabbergasted that in 2025 this is still going on. And if your friend or your family member don't want to have kids, you got everybody sitting up here talking about first thing they say when you go to a family reunion or a family dinner or somebody's birthday, when you having a baby. Where you mad at? If you're gay, it's just a phase. You're going to want to have that baby soon. Now, I'm going to tell you something. My mama didn't ask me no question like that. One, I didn't have no man. And she was old school, marriage, then babies. I didn't have a husband. So she wasn't asking me no questions like that. And my mom was an education mom. She was like, get as much as you can. She's a working mom. Work, get as much as you can. Do your thing. But I've heard people talk at their daughters and they have their granddaughters when you having a baby. And I'm sitting there going, what? Bring your boyfriend around. Ma'am, I'm lying about having a boyfriend. My roommate is my boyfriend. Girlfriend. I don't get it. But then I guess it ain't for me to get. It is for those who want to do it. And you know what? Ain't nobody gonna stop doing it. People are gonna still have babies they can't afford, they can't take care of, and don't want. What gets me, every now and again, what gets me is you'll hear a story. There's this man who posted it online. I don't know whether he first posted on Facebook or YouTube, but he said that he was dating this woman and they had agreed that neither one of them wanted children. She was very adamant about not wanting to have a baby. I don't want to have a baby. I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to be somebody's mama ever. Never not ever. And even in the year of our Lord 2025, there's still, when women are going down to the OBGYN and say, I want my tubes tied, I want it scooped out, I want whatever you can do to make me not have babies. There are still doctors talking about, what about your husband? I don't have a husband. What if you want kids? It's a whole bunch of we can adopt. No. They're still saying, well, what your husband think about that? Sir, there are still doctors who won't do it for you. I told my doctor, please take out whatever's in there when you get the baby. You might want some more kids. Shut up. I just didn't argue. I just shut up. But she was very adamant about it. Took a pill, did everything. Through whatever magic of conception, she got pregnant. And she told him, she said, I'm going to get an abortion, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop. I don't want it. I'm not going to keep it. I don't want to have a baby. He, I want to say forced because he didn't do it at gunpoint, but he begged her, have the baby, have the baby. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I'll be there. I'll be there. That's what he said. So she had the baby and left. She had the baby, gave him the baby, signed off her rights, pays more child support than is ordered by the court, went and got a whole mommy makeover. And when asked if she has a child, she says no. And now he's online. And I'm sure it's a compilation of men because I'm sure this ain't the only time this happened. But the story is basically he's online wondering why she didn't want to be a mama because she told you she did. And I use him because the flip side is that women think that getting pregnant by a man is going to change him into a man that actually wants her. If he doesn't want you before you become his baby mama, what makes you think he's going to want the baby that comes out of the fact that he didn't want you in the first place? I have never understood that. There's no world where I understand that. You got somebody who barely takes you around his friends. You ain't never been to his mama house. You don't even know his favorite color because he lied about everything. You done caught him cheating on multiple occasions. But you think that if 2 lines pop up on that stick you just peed on, he's all of a sudden going to be a great man who's going to be a great partner and turn into a great husband and dad? No, he's not. And on the flip side, gentlemen, if you think she's going to change her life when she specifically said, I don't want kids, I don't want to be somebody's mama, especially not now. I'm young and I ain't did everything I wanted to do. Because the reality is your body is not your body for at least a year. People think that it's just 9 months. It's actually 10 months. It's 40 weeks. Sometimes your first pregnancy you go over. And you never know how pregnancy is going to affect you. Some people just breeze through being pregnant. Some people are miserable from the day the egg and the sperm hit to well after they've had the baby and their hormones redecorate. So it's not like it's just, ooh, I can pop this out and go about my business. No, your body has to your thought process, your mind, your mental has to redecorate. Babies ain't band-aids. Babies are not jobs. They're jobs, but they're not the job you're supposed to get paid from. They the job to take your money. What kind of job is that? Anyway. But yeah. That was today. That was today's. Because they didn't really have ow! This is a flashback to, I don't know, it might have been yesterday. So this is onto a totally different subject. Today on the talk shows. The talk shows weren't really hitting on none today. It was basically what I talked about. Having all these babies and calling your baby mama a slut, a hoe, every miserable thing you can think to call her, and doing it in front of the kids. That's what today's Steve was about that. And anyway, but yesterday, I want to say it was yesterday. Yesterday, Karamo had a couple. He was in a wheelchair, he got in a car accident, and he's paralyzed from the waist down, and he doesn't feel anything, so he cannot perform sex naturally, and that is for this show. For what I'm talking about, that information is necessary. So, and then he has girlfriend. He's cheated on his girlfriend a lot. And okay, so I'm a bad person. Just know that. I'm not a bad person, but it sounds bad for what I'm about to say. So the whole premise of the thing is that she caught him with a sex toy because that's what he has to use on her to have sex. She caught him with a new sex toy in his I'm gonna say backpack. I think they said duffel bag, but I'm gonna say backpack. Cause what it made me think about, I'm like, so let me get it right in my head. So you can't walk. You got a stud backpack to cheat on your girl, to cheat on your girlfriend, and she ain't rolled you out the house and locked the door. Now, I am in a wheelchair for the majority of the time. I can move myself, but the reality is I can't walk right now. So I'm saying this with all the love that I can. I'd have rolled his ass out the house and forgot where the damn ramp was before he can get back in. You gonna sit up here and buy. You gonna got your stud backpack. So you can go cheat on me with a new ding ding that you purchased specifically to cheat on me. And then your lie is, I changed my mind, I didn't want to do it. Hmm. You think I ain't broke the lock off so that your wheelchair don't lock no more? You think the ramp don't mysteriously go missing every time you leave the house? You think I ain't hid all the dildos on the shelves that you can't reach? And you on that crying. And he's still lying. He thought, because you know Karamo unlock phones. So Karamo go in there and he go back. Karamo be digging through your stuff like CIA, FBI. So he be going on Karamo thinking that you just gonna ride out there, you can erase some stuff and erase your history, and Karamo ain't gonna find your stuff because he found a video, a sex video of Hot Wheels. And she over there crying. Now again, these are people I don't think are attractive because they're not attractive to me. And she's not bad looking. She beat down. Look here, let me tell you something. I understand that this is not a popular opinion. However, the reality is that as much as I wish it was different, if you're disabled, you're at a deficit when it comes to a lot of things. It's just the nature of what's going on. You can't move around. You need help. And I can't for the life of me fathom how you walling your ass in my house every night smiling in my face while you and another person's stuff that is not helping you. That is not helping you get in and out of stuff. That is not helping you with the things you need. That is not getting you where you need to go. On top of just being a respectful partner to somebody. And you over here on Karamo laughing like that shit is funny. And she's over there looking like she has been lost in the sauce. She over there looking lost as hell. She damn near cried the entire time. And he over there laughing and giggling. Like this shit is funny. Because that's what we gonna play it as, like it's funny. Like we got to give him more consideration because he's disabled or something. No, you get the same consideration as a motherfucker with 2 legs. You got 4 wheels. You get the same consideration. You disrespecting somebody who's there for you at a time when a lot of people leave you and not date you, not just leave you because you wouldn't date them in the first place. There are a lot of people who won't date you because you're in a wheelchair, because you're disabled, because you're not the same as they are. That takes you completely off the board. You got somebody willing to give your ass a chance, and then you disrespectful and laughing at me. As a disabled person, as a mama, as somebody who struggled financially and every other week, I'm not better. Should you make accommodations? Like, should there be a ramp to go into the library? Or should there be a ramp to go into the hospital? Yeah. Those kind of accommodations. But being disabled doesn't make me a better person. Doesn't make me more courageous than somebody out there. It also don't give you free will to do crazy shit. If you don't want to be with somebody, don't be with them. If they don't fulfill your needs, then find somebody who do. Stop taking advantage of people because they love you. I said what I said. That was funny, not ha funny, but funny, ironic. You sitting up there and you making jokes like you bring something under your wheels to the table. She talking about all the things she has to do for him and all the things she's been through with him. And the most you got is you laughing and joking and giggling with Karamo because you thought that you could just erase something the day before you come to the show where he tell you we find it all erased and unerased. And it wasn't just the photo or the porn photo that you made, the porn thing that you made. Hey, TC, hey. It wasn't just the porn that you made. It was the fact that you still on chat lines. You still talking to other women. You still in DMs. And she's still sitting over there crying. What? Somebody help me, Lord. When is enough? When is enough? When is it enough? When do you no longer say, it's because I love him? How many times do you have to say but about a person? I love him, but. I love her, but. How many times you got to make excuses for when they don't pick up the phone? To when they break dates? To when they leave you stranded? To when they leave you broke? How many excuses does it take? It's much like that owl and that Tootsie Roll Pop. How many licks does it take before you bite that bitch head off? How many does it take? How many baby mamas does it take for you to realize that you shouldn't be number 5? How many baby daddies does it take before you realize these babies are not going to change these men? I'm just wondering. How many men you got to bring in your house that bother your children before you realize that the problem is not the men, it is the mama that is bringing them kids in the house? How many stepmamas is it going to take for you to realize that maybe I should be okay with me before I bring another bitch around my child? How many videos are you going to make to try to go viral about your sorry ass situation? That leads me to number 3. I don't remember if I talked about her. I might have talked about her earlier, but my mind is short, so I don't know. There's a lady. Thank you, TC. There's a lady that I think I did. Yeah, because I talked about how she wasn't, and I'm going to go back to her. I when I watch on TikTok, when you watch, you kind of go down a rabbit hole. You don't just look at the video of the person who put the video out, but you also look at people who screenshot it because they'll do some digging that you don't want to do. So I kept watching videos. I clicked the video and then I kept watching videos. Most of them stitches or duets of the video of the lady who was with the man, got married. Six months later, they're getting a divorce. But she realized that the man didn't like her on their honeymoon cruise when she was trying to get his attention. And he was looking at everybody else but her. And like I said, she wasn't a bad looking girl. I wouldn't date her, but I mean, physically, she was cool. She was a little short, but she had that little short, little, she had the little swoopy, she had a little booty and thing. She looked, not for me, but I mean, for somebody. But I go down the rabbit hole. That is her. I think Johnson was the name, T something. I don't know what her name was. Keke Jones. Keke Jones. Keke Jones. Okay. If you want to look her up, she had a mommy makeover. What? I didn't get that far down the rabbit hole. I had to come on here and talk to y'all for a little while. So I went slowly down the rabbit hole. I went down this far, not all the way. So I kept going until I got to a video because everybody else was doing like, oh, poor her, wee, wah. I get to a girl's like, I have to, she was like, I hold my judgment until I do my research. Now, personally, these people ain't my friends or family, so I don't do no whole lot of research. I just do TikTok research. And if you talk for too long, I'm going to flip past your ass anyway. Okay. She did. You know what? I thought about it looked a little made, but it looked like it was real. So, I get what you're saying. I can see how the stomach might be a little touched. She had a nice little booty. She was short. You know how you have somebody who's short, but their arms short too? She had the little short arms too. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, all that being said. So I kept going. So come to find out, one, she knew he was cheating. He'd been cheating the whole time they've been together. And everybody is referencing how he was looking all lovey-dovey and singing to her at the wedding. Only a fool act up at their wedding, especially if they decide to go through with the wedding. So yeah, he gonna act like a happily married man at the wedding. Duh. But by the honeymoon, he was back to being who he was. Now, she did all these little outfits, her bikinis, her booty out, and she looked good. I'm going to keep saying, she looked good. Especially for who she was trying to look good for. Because here's my thing, and I know this is very superficial, and it's going to sound very, very superficial, and it's going to sound very, I don't know, I'm looking for another word, because it's going to sound bad. It is. And I know it doesn't make any sense, okay? This is going to sound bad, though. If you're going to cheat on me, don't cheat on me nobody look like me or look worse than me. Because you're supposed to be cheating for something else. You're supposed to be cheating for better. You're supposed to be upping your game, bringing more to the table, as it were. You feel me? Don't cheat on me with mess. Also, don't look a mess. I had cheat up, absolutely. However, that being said, don't look a mess and cheat on me. Don't be somebody I gave a chance to. Don't be somebody that only I find attractive. Don't be somebody that, like I said earlier, are not across the board attractive. Niche attractive. Don't look like a Temu version of a man and cheat on me. That's what he looked like. He looked like good old Unc. They get them outfits from Temu, Fashion Nova. Still trying to be 17 at the age of 75. Or 37, I don't know how old he was. I done scrolled so far down here on Facebook. I was telling Vance today, I think she pushed him away being sloppy drunk publicly all the time. Because when he was ignoring on the cruise, she was drunk. Okay. But see, that goes into what I was saying. So the girl that I finally ended up on today, who did not have the kumbaya rub on her back and tell it's going to be okay theme going on with her video, she was like, she knew he was cheating the whole time. She got with him after that. She still said okay to marry him. And she's been trying to go viral for the past 4 years. From what I understand, she took a break from dating for 2 years. She's been without a man for 2 years. She got with this man, they got married. She got kids. Her kids ain't with her. Yeah, that's another one. She's a whole issue. Hold on. So the person that I was listening to was like, yeah. Come to find out, she knew what she was supposed to. She knew what she was doing when she got drunk in her wedding dress, talking about all the stuff he did and everything he did. Whoop-de-whoop. He didn't just do it. Let me say that. I'm not giving him no props because he cheated on her. Even though he knew her, regardless of her wanting to go viral, regardless of all that, I get it. Yay, she was going viral. And everybody want to. If you own, she had a mommy makeover during the break, then she had a baby with him afterwards. That's stupid. I'm gonna have a mommy makeover. You gonna take the stuff to make the babies because I ain't gonna get made over a third time. Hell, that's crazy. But anyway, everybody who has content wants to go viral. It is what it is. You sit up there and lie and say you don't want to go viral, and you're lying. That's what you do it. That's why we make videos. That's why we say the stuff we say. That's why we do the stuff we do. That moment to when millions of people watch our video, whatever it is, and then we hope we can capitalize off it and start making money off of it. That's why we do it. So I'm not faulting her for going viral. However, I am going to fault her for coming on here like kumbaya. And we supposed to be like, oh baby, when in reality you went into this. Yeah, she had a baby with him. That quick. Again, I believe she's one of those a baby will fix kind of things kind of woman, but she did what a lot of them don't do. She took 2 years for herself. But clearly it didn't work because she right back at the same thing. 2 years, mommy makeover, then you get with Timo Jerome and have a baby. And then you get married. And then 6 months later, y'all are divorced. And you on here putting on videos, drinking tequila, whatever the hell she was drinking, in your wedding gown. Because y'all are divorced. Why did you get married? You could have made new mommy content. You could have made new body, new mommy, new me. Why did you get married? You had your content. And then I see a lot of her videos. I went and I didn't look at them. But a lot of her videos, she is showing off her mommy makeover because she, again, if I had the body, I'd be half naked too. So I ain't got no problem with that. Yeah, her kid, she don't have her kids from what I understand. When these people here realize having children one thing, I don't know. I asked earlier before you got here, why do the women keep having babies with men? So clearly I don't know the answer to that. Because it's 2025 and they still doing the same shit they was doing in 1985. So, go figure. I don't know. There's not a baby in the history of babydom that has changed a man or a woman for that matter from who they are for real. There's not a baby in the history of babydom that has made a man be a faithful man to the woman he had the baby with, and there has not been a baby in the history of babydom that made a mama be a mama. So I don't know why the hell they still doing it. I don't know. Yeah, she was drunk. She was drunk the whole time when they was on the cruise. But here's the thing. Why did she think he was going to be different than the man he was that she married? She married a cheater. She married a man who looked outside of her. So what did she think that was going to happen? That he was going to magically? No. I mean, on the cruise, you do a little drinking. But I'm not in my home. I'm not in a place to where I'm 100% confident what's going on. So no. Did we drink when we were on the cruise? Absolutely. Did I get sloppy drunk? Absolutely not. Because one, I didn't want my wife to have to drag me around, look at a mess. Two, because it's not safe. I don't know. I guess I don't know whether she was going to change him or change herself. I don't know if she thought she was special. That's another thing. I wonder if when you are baby mama number 5 or baby daddy number 3, what makes you different? What make and I have to include men because I don't want, while it could happen, I don't want Nick to be baby daddy number 3 or number 4. Not because I don't think she's a bad person. I don't think anybody's bad or good because of how they handle sexuality. Because sexuality is just an aspect of a person. It's just how you get down. Not every good person is supposed to be a good partner. That's ridiculous. The thought process that how you date, it is a precursor in how you do other things. But the reality is you can be a hoe and still be a good brother, good, son, a good worker. You just ain't a good partner. You can be a good daddy and not be a good partner. But most of the time, bad partner, bad daddy, and bad mama going hand in hand. So, hold on. I don't know if it's gold. Hold on. I think she thought the new body was going to fix everything. I mean, no. She had the body when she met him. I don't. When somebody wants you, nobody else matters. Well, she light skin, it's gold tone. You stupid. You stupid. I'm just gonna say that, Leilani. It's gold colored. It's gold plated. I am not going to play your games, Leilani. Okay? She could be Paulina Sweet Coochie. She could be. She could be sunshine and throw it up in the air and the sun come out. She could be. We don't know.
You lying
She could be.
there. Baby, you want to watch this.
I watched it. It pissed me off. I watched it. I saw it when it happened in real life.
Are you still on the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. Baby watching The Perfect Neighbor. And I think we talked about it. About the white lady who ended up shooting through a door and killing the mom who was over there at the house. About the iPad. The white lady who lived in a predominantly black neighborhood kept calling the cops on the kids playing outside. And she eventually ended up shooting through the door and killing the mom. Now, I thought, because what was told to us, she turned bath one in the go ahead. Stupid. I ain't never heard that, but I like that. I wonder how many Kool-Aid packs I done turned in. Oh, my bad. That was a long time ago. But anyway, yeah, baby's watching the perfect neighbor. And it's about that story about that lady that ended up killing her neighbor, black lady, in front of her kids through the door when she shot through the door in Florida. And I thought, from what we've been told, that the lady took the iPad from the kids and the mother was going back over to the house to get the iPad from the old lady. From what I understand, that's not exactly what happened. The kids were outside playing on the iPad. The woman broke the iPad and told the kids to tell your mama to come see me. And when the mama came and knocked on the door about the iPad, she shot through the door talking about she feared for her life. I don't really, here's the thing, especially when it's race related, I don't really watch things like that because it pisses me off. Growing up in the deep south and yeah, through the skates and broke the iPad. Yeah. I don't really watch things like that. I don't watch things that are, I've never watched Django. The Django. I don't know how to even pronounce the name. I never watched that. I haven't watched 12 Years Slave. I don't watch any of that. Because one, I grew up in the South and I grew up in the middle of that. And I had a great grandmother that told me about the plantation and things like that. I don't watch them because it pisses me off. Because it was unnecessary. That entire time, and how we're being treated now is unnecessary. But that being said, it happens, and so we have to deal with it. So no, I don't. I watched that, and it pissed me off because the kids. I was thinking it was a bunch of big teenagers. These were kids. These were kids outside playing, doing what we. The only thing that we had to do when we was young, tearing up. They lived in a cul-de-sac neighborhood kind of situation to where the kids would play and play basketball, and all the kids would play together. And you come in there and you call the cops on these little black kids constantly. The white folks in the neighborhood don't even deal with you. You call the cops on all the kids, but you make it your business because I guess this lady was outspoken about her kids and messing with her kids. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch Django. I didn't watch that because those pictures of Samuel Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio, that pissed me off to no end. I still get pissed off with coons and people that do stuff like that, and especially black people that think that their proximity to whiteness will somehow fade their blackness away. Pisses me off. So I don't watch stuff like that. I don't want to watch TV to be pissed off. It's enough in the world to be pissed off. But she was just constantly doing stuff. And the police, here's the thing. Everybody talks about the police and we got to get them a pass and they are only doing their job. But what the hell is their job? What is their job? At some point, she should have been taken into custody. At some point, the movie had a happy ending. That's all the white people died. That's all. If all the slave masters died, that would have been my only happy ending. That's what I still don't. I'm not a big that and the fact I'm not a big history person. I don't really like historical movies. I'm sorry. I've only watched Malcolm X once. I want to see What's Love Got to Do with It one time. I don't really watch historical, biographical. I don't. I think that, to me, because I read, if I want to know something, I read it. I retain the information and I go on. If I want to be entertained, I want to be entertained. And that's what movies are to me. That's why I don't watch movies that piss me off. Movies that make me sad are fine. Movies that make me happy are fine. Laugh are fine. Scared, fine. I don't want to be pissed off watching TV. And if I get too pissed off, I'll start watching TV shows. Even TV shows I like. Yes, they were cute. Ha ha ha. See? That would have been all right. But yeah, so that's what baby's watching now. And I watched it. And she's in there acting. Because she's an older white lady. I guess again, it's supposed to feel sorry for you. You brought this shit on yourself because you're miserable. Miserable. Now you're going to be in jail for 25 years. And I just want one person to know why you're in jail. That's all I want. I just want one person to know why you're in jail. Yeah. Because you could have hit that child. She stopped through the door and thought that if she told the cops, after she called the cops on everybody, on all them kids, she's calling cops on kids. That's basically what she's doing. She's not calling on adults, no, she's calling on the kids. Because they too loud, they having fun, they playing. Okay. You could have shot one of those children. But they don't think about it like that. And that's sad. And that's why I say parenting is not for the weak. It's not for the, it's a 24-hour day, 7-day a week. Because Nick's not even here. And I get sad when I see things like this. Because just for the grace of God and me, he didn't have to deal with this overt stuff. I'm sure he had to deal with it because we live in a predominantly ethnically diverse but predominantly white area. Hold on. Old ass is miserable. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, the kids were hooligans, R words, N words, and that's what you told. Yeah. The kids were hooligans. The kids were outside playing. The kids was playing, doing what kids do. They make noise. They throw stuff. They kids. And now these children, they didn't just lose their parent. They watched their parent die. They watched their parent violently die because you can't control your emotions. Because you are too racist to live anywhere where it's too many where it's one black person. Yeah, they're kids. Racism is expensive and it's dangerous. And we can sit up here and lie to ourselves and say that it's not that bad and it doesn't happen like they say it happens, when the reality is it does. When the reality is, I wasn't scared of Nick going out and hanging out with his friends because we had a bunch of gang members running around on the street. I was scared for my son to get pulled over in a car full of little white friends. I was scared for him to be out too late, walking by himself, walking while black. I was scared that the little guys, that his friends at school was gonna call him a nigga. Racism is dangerous and it's expensive. And when I say expensive, I just don't mean money. I mean in your spirit and your soul. And it's unnecessary. But it is deadly. And those children are gonna grow up. And they're gonna grow up distrusting and hating cops and white people. Because the only reason that lady was doing that, there were dozens of other parents, black and white, black, white, Asian. It was a mixed community. But she picked on the little black kids. She called the cops on the little black kids. She always had something to say about the little black kids. She always calling them niggas and N's and R's. And I had took me a minute to say what R was, but I remember what it was. And these children, every time they see a white person, they're going to wonder, will you hurt me just because I'm black? Not in the abstract. Not because of something they heard on TikTok or something posted on Facebook or because something they heard their grandmama say, but because they watched their mother get shot through a door and die in front of them in their arms because a white woman was scared for her life because she asked the woman to come to her house. She asked the mama. She told the children, now tell your mama to come see me. The fact that she didn't get premeditated murder is pissing me off. That's number one. The fact that she was never arrested for nonsense calls to the police. Because during the body cam footage, the police didn't admonish her realistically for what she was doing and make her understand that the next time you call us, you're going to jail. If there's not a crime being committed, the next time you call us because what you're doing is illegal, the next time you call us, you're going to jail, was never spoke to her. They were still petting her and trying to make her feel good. Yes, that's what happened. I thought that she was going over there, the way they were telling the story, because before they have documentaries or anything, you get word of mouth and hearsay and leaked information. But the way they were telling it, it was that she was going over to the house to retrieve the iPad, that the lady had taken the iPad from the kids earlier, and the white lady had the iPad in the house. That's the way it was told before. Now, since the documentary has come out, no, she threw a skate at the boys, broke the iPad, and then went to the little boys and told the little boys, tell your mama to come see me. And go get your mom. Right, and go get your mom. The mama wasn't there yet. When the mama got home, the mama went over. The boy said, so-and-so, I don't know what her name was. Karen broke the thing and she said, come see her about it. She knocking on the door, and I'm sure the mama wasn't all calm, cool, and collected. You broke my baby iPad. You know how much a damn iPad costs? You know how much an iPad costs? From the trash can. You know how much? iPad is not like $20, $50, $100. Okay? You break my baby iPad, I'm coming to break your ass. I am. And I'm sure she was knocking on the door like police, and I'm sure she was cussing while she was doing it. That's all well and good. But she was on the outside of a locked door. Now, this is the time you call the police. You call the police on them kids playing 3 doors down from your house. A lot of times the kids wouldn't even play in front of our house. You could just hear them. You call the police for the children playing out in the road, playing basketball, running around, hollering. You can't call the police because somebody knocking on your door. You were so scared for your life that you had to go get a gun and shoot through the door when you knew her children. You knew her children were out there. So that means you didn't give a shit whether or not who you killed, just as long as you killed you a black person that day. Just as long as your bullet hit something. Because you didn't see people. Because see, there's a problem. There lies the issue with racism. They don't see us as people. Especially, they like to talk about biracial because I am biracial. I was raised by my mom and them. I've never seen a white family member other than family members that my cousins had babies by. I've never seen a white family member that I related to. Not one. Not one. They don't see us as people. We're 3/4 a person, 7/8 a person. Not a complete total person. Even in 2025. Because she wouldn't have went and got a gun if a white lady had been knocking on the door the same way that black lady was. I can promise you that. She would even open the door. She immediately went and got her gun and shot through a closed door with no line of sight when you know there was a very good possibility that that woman was not alone on that porch. She could have looked out the window. It's not like the lady broke in. The lady didn't even break in the house. She didn't go through the screen. She was knocking on the door telling her, bitch, come here. I'm sure that's what she was saying. I'm sure she was calling all kind of bitches and hoes. I ain't going to sit up here and say that's the only thing that actually got her convicted because she claimed she said go away because she was scared and she never said a word. She just shot. No, she didn't say nothing. Let me tell you something. That woman had 911 on speed dial. She didn't even have to dial all 3 of them numbers as much as she called the police. I bet it was just a button push for her. And a lot of phones have just an emergency button push to where you can get to connect to 911 without even having service. So she can't sit up there and lie and say she didn't have a chance or the opportunity to call the police. She didn't think about calling the police because I don't understand how she didn't get more time. Because all she did was call the police all the time, every day, twice on Sundays. She went in there because I'm looking at her over the. If I look over, I'm looking at her. She's sitting there looking like somebody old grandmama. She didn't even comb her hair good, so that people feel sorry for her. When the reality was, you're just a miserable, sorry racist who killed somebody because you could, and you thought you was going to get away with it, and she did for a while. They didn't arrest her immediately. They had to investigate. What the fuck you investigate? You investigating the hole in the door through the lady? What are you investigating? The presiding judge stated that he found the shooting was based more on anger than fear. So he gave her 25 years. Now, she won't serve all that. That's just reality. She won't serve all that unless she get in trouble while she's in jail. It's not a federal crime. She's not going to the federal penitentiary. She's not going to serve 100% of that sentence unless it says she doesn't get time served or time off. They have to be specific with that. Like, you get life in prison with the possibility of parole. You might spend 15 years. You get a 25-year sentence. You might serve 6 or 7 unless you get in trouble. She's not going to serve 25 years. But she thought she won't have to serve nothing. She thought she was justified in all her white indignation. She shot through the door where she knew that children were outside. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Racism is expensive, it's dangerous, and it's prevalent. And if we don't start realizing that people do things specifically because they don't like the color of your skin, they don't like, and that's what racism is. That's just, we're not going to get into this because for some reason, let me say this. People think that discrimination, bias, prejudice, and racism are all the same thing. They're not. They're not. They're not interchangeable. Racism is specifically race based. Prejudice plus power equals racism. Because you can be prejudiced against somebody for a myriad of reasons, but you don't hold any sway over their lives. You just don't like them because they're black. You don't like them because they're gay. You don't like them because they're tall. You don't like them because they're short. You like them because they're fat. You don't like them because they're skinny. You can be biased against something, a person or a place or a thing. You can also discriminate. And in some instances, that is race-based. And it's a racial discrimination and things like that. But they're not interchangeable. They're all different. But racism is killer. Because you don't like me because I don't look like you. Or because my daddy don't look like you. Or because my mama don't look like you. That's it. And you can affect how life goes for that person. We still have sundown towns. Lynching only became illegal a few years ago. And they are still lynching people. But now, since you have social media, you can't hide it like before. And you can't be proud of it like before. So now you got to stage it and say that these people aren't, they didn't kill themselves. We didn't kill them. They killed themselves. No black man is going to publicly hang himself. Now he might do it in his house. I don't even know why people hang themselves, because it's not like it's pain free. It's not. I'm thinking if I want to go out, I don't want to go. I don't want to hurt while I'm going. But that's just me. No black man is a woman, but I use man because the past few have been men, are going to publicly hang themselves.
Did you talk about that man with the kids?
I did.
What their input was?
No, they agree with me. So what do? That's suicide. 2 college boys committed suicide right after. Everybody was getting on social media talking about it. I guess it's time we take it back. Make America great again. One of the boys had blunt force trauma and 2 broken arms, but he hung himself. But he hung himself. Then, oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on. She called 911 when she told the kids to go get their mom. When the mom got there 2 minutes later, boom. Dang, then she called again. I have been following that story from the mom being killed. There were multiple body cam episodes on YouTube, and the mom did some kind of interview with the kids. Yeah, some states just made it illegal. Remember, yeah, it's a state thing. I just thought of something. Maybe, you know what? I might freeze a spoon. Because these things are getting deeper. In a minute, I'm going to be a raccoon for real. It's going to be all the way down. I don't even know what color that is. It don't look as bad up close.
What's that?
Might be the lighting. I'm just going to sleep for 2 days to see if that helps. No, I'm just playing. Anyway.
I want to see that.
But I done went off on a tangent, y'all. I'm sorry. I try to normally stay out of political and racial things. Not because I don't have an opinion. Not because my opinions are not valid. It's just because those are very polarizing. And people are very stuck in their opinions, much like I am. You're not going to make me think that racism is okay. You're not going to make me think that racism is not a thing. You're not going to make me think that we're all treated equally under the law. You're just not. because you know it's a lie. Because white moms, dads, you're not scared about your children getting pulled over by the cops. It doesn't even cross your mind to call the police. Do you know how many black people have lost their lives, called the police for themselves, and they ended up getting killed or arrested? Because they called the police because somebody else was doing something, but then the police got there and thought they were the criminal? So that's why I stay out of that. But every now and again, I got to get in. Every now and again, you got to get in. Because the reality is, as much as I wish it would change, I am 58 years old. And I watched my mom. I grew up with my mom, watching her act the way that black women, especially women in the South, had to act. Even after they didn't have to act that way anymore, they still had to, because that's what's expected. See, again, a lot of this stuff I talk to y'all about, it's not shit I read, it's shit I live. My mama dropping her eyes down when she meets somebody white coming, or moving over and giving the sidewalk to them, or stop walking so that they can walk past. Being disrespected by white women in a department stores and expecting me not to say nothing. People looking at me like that's not my mama, like that's my nanny or my maid. See, this is what I grew up with. And I don't get in there because it pisses me off. And I try to stay unpissed off, because when I pissed off, I cuss. It goes off the rails, and we don't want to do that. But you got to be real. This ain't no talking points. This ain't nothing no politician said. The reality is that black people catch hell in America. They catch hell everywhere. But the flip side is that everybody wants to be like us. Booty shots, lip injections. Why can't I wear braids? Your black men want me. I'm a snow bunny. But as soon as you get a black man, you start talking and acting like what you think a black woman acts like. All this is reality. And you can just deal with it and see it and go, you know, that's messed up. Or you can deal with it and see, oh, I'm down with that. Just depends upon what side of racism you want to be on. And I hope it wouldn't always be like that. But like I said, I'm about to be 60 in a couple of years. And it ain't changed. Absolutely. The behavior is ingrained in their psyche. It is almost a part of their DNA. I don't understand why young people are racist. Because you like the black music. You like the black aesthetic. You like the booty. But you still want to say nigga out loud. Like it's a joke. Like you won't get bust in your eye. Be mindful. While yes, America's a dangerous place to be black, we will still whoop your ass. And I don't want to even get onto the black people who think their proximity to whiteness will change their blackness in any way, other than to make them unblack to us as well. And I know what I look like. I do. But understand this. I got friends that look just like me. They got two black parents. So since for all those that look and don't understand that black comes in an array of colors, and think you can say something to me, I'm going to show you a picture of my mama. I'm going to show you a picture of my son. I'm going to show you a picture of my wife, my daughter. And I'm going to take kiss my ass. Yes. At the end of the day, they see a black woman, light skinned although I may be, Thank you, TC. But a black woman nonetheless.
Tell TC I like that HB. How you say it? The marching band.
Oh, which one did you watch?
The one she sent me.
Oh, she said, TC, she said she liked the marching band you sent her. I don't know which one she
I
sent.
enjoyed that.
She enjoyed that. She watched the whole thing. She was over there. Dun, dun. I know the sound, but I can't think of it right now. Because there's a certain beat when the band starts, you be like, oh, it's about to go down. TC said, hey.
What's up?
She in the background. She about to play her game. I'm about to get off and eat
I
dinner.
would like to go to one.
She would be loose. She would be loose of the game. We're going to go to a game one time.
I want to go to the marching when they be doing the band.
That was the alumni band? Well, baby, if you go to a football game, the band going to be there. The band is going to band.
Howard, I think Howard is coming up this weekend, I think. What she say that thing was?
I don't know, but it should be close because this is October, and this is October, November is homecoming season. I know Alabama State and Tuskegee is their homecoming game is Thanksgiving Day. It's Turkey Day Classic, baby. Howard is this weekend. She said, yeah, Howard is this weekend.
Yes, I just pulled it up. October 25th.
Yeah. Do, 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 do.
It's no parking down there.
It is not.
The parking sucks.
Ride the train. Is there a train?
There's a train, but it's a lot of walking.
Gotta get baby a scooter.
Like all the way down the bottom. You gotta walk past the hospital.
Monday.
There's a lot of walking.
Gotta get baby a scooter so she can ride the train and then run. Oh. Ride on out. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get up off here. I told baby I was gonna be on here about an hour, but you know how we do. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure something will strike my fancy and I gotta come back to y'all. Oh, she said they have golf carts at hers. I mean, tell DC. Von D said, stop ducking Von D when y'all on the game.
Tell me you don't even play. What are you talking about?
She said you don't even play. What you talking about? Von D said he looking. I invested in golf carts, so we made. I told baby we're gonna get a scooter. Cause while I will be walking, I can't walk for no long distance, and baby be want to go places, and I don't want to have her stuck. So Vondi said I play. She playing now. She about to play now. So
okay, now
I'm gonna get off here if you want to do that. $10 one way. TC say she invested in a golf cart, and she be $10 one way in them. And I would $10 one way you. Absolutely. Give me, baby. $10 well spent. Would I want, see, I would walk back. See, it's walking to the event that would be the issue.
I can make money. Give me a golf cart.
Baby said yeah.
I'll
Shoot.
put it stuck in the back of a truck.
She said she gonna put that. She said she gonna get a golf cart, put that sucker in the back of the truck, and keep it going.
And now I'm gonna park down there and give people rides, $10 ride.
I ain't know how much money she made. Put all these what's wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, TC said I give
Chad, come on, we need to get the business.
I give my cell number and then get the bit. Hey. Baby like to drive too. She'll be had it souped up. It'll have a DJ. She'll be DJing while she's driving. It'll be a party. Party cart.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have.
That's what you gonna call it, a party cart.
I'm gonna have the amplifier and everything going on.
It's gonna be a party. People gonna be at the golf cart more than they are at the event. They're gonna be what is it? Tailgating it. Hey, TC said she might need you next year.
All right, I got you.
Don't play. Don't threaten her with a good time. You look up and she be down there knocking on you door. You ready to go?
Wait a minute, what she talking
She
about?
always on
Hold
time.
Wait a minute. She said, wait a minute. What's going on October? What's going on?
Oh, the homecoming.
She like talking about pot and DJ.
No, baby, she talking about no.
That's what she talking about.
I know what she talking about.
What you talking about, Willis?
You gonna need a DJ next year.
Oh man, why my thing down?
You know her number.
I don't
Anyway.
know nothing.
So, back to what I was saying. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and joining me. Oh,
What is going on?
like I said, I knew what you were talking about. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I want to thank everybody who's come through this chat. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I'm going to tell you each and every time I come on here that your support is welcomed, appreciated, and loved. So make sure you hit that like button, comment, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that every time we drop a video go live, you guys can join us. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'll be back sometime tomorrow. Y'all hit me in them comments. Tell me what you want to talk about. I love you guys. Bye, y'all.